1, 2, 3. Greetings, friends and concerned neighbors. I'm Tom.
I'm Galen.
And, oh my gosh, who is it? Come here. Come here.
The most discernible perfume critic of all.
It's a fox prince from the fairy kingdom who has come to join us for 15 minutes of FUME. This is the video I feel like I have been looking forward to filming and also dreading. I guess there's a bit of destiny to it. It feels like my whole life is built up to filming this particular video.
Really?
In a weird way, yes. And now we are sniffing and describing perfumes from our recent Lupercalia perfume collection entitled Bag of Dicks, Best Game Show That Never Was. These are scents inspired by various pleasure instruments from antiquity and also from the contemporary world. I feel like every year I get so excited for Lupercalia and it's like, what's the coolest, craziest thing that we can do? And then it's only later when it comes time to promote them and get out there and like spread the word and try to sell the stuff that I realize that we've created things that are impossible to advertise on social media.
It's a challenge. We get around it somehow.
This is my Sisyphean task as a gothic perfume marketer. So I firstly want to thank everybody who has helped with this by spreading the word, showing people this, even if it's like, look at what the fuck these randos are doing, how funny. That counts as support. We can't really do paid advertisement for these on social media. It's just kind of like whoever descends into our web of madness, and then we can get you. So some of you may have already been gotten and may have your perfumes and can sniff along with this video. What a journey. Love this for us. This was inspired by a perfume that we bring out pretty much every year for Lupercalia called Bright Red Dildo. Inspired by, this like Greek dialogue. I've always really admired it because of the simplicity. It's just like a red leather and honey scent. Mm-hmm. And the idea that is like, mentally corresponds with a bright red dildo. I just love the kind of like snappy synesthesia of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and people love it. I mean, it's like it's got the the leather and the honey, and it's just like it's sweet, it's sassy, it's got a dominatrix vibe, but it's bright red dildo. So there's like a color thing in your mind that kind of changes the character of it. How fun. It really shows how sometimes like a simple statement can, scent-wise, can be correlated to something outrageous in your associations, and that is an exciting thing to me about fragrance and about BPAL. This has never been like a scent that I wear a lot because I, just don't do a lot of honey scents, but I always, enjoy smelling it. It's like an old friend at this point. That bright red dildo is just like a well-worn, friendly presence in our lives. Always happy to see her. So this year it was like, what if that was its own standalone little collection? What if Bright Red Dildo had friends? It's like Care Bear cousins, And from there, we ended up with a whole series of things, and we had to cut way back because, we could have done endless of these. But also it's like, after a while, this is the kind of collection you can do in 6 additional fragrances to just give people an idea. We could always do more later if we want to. So,
but let's start simply.
Yeah, let's just kind of, let's test the public's tolerance for this nonsense.
Establish a core group. Expand upon that later, if need be.
Will people accept us? Yeah. And now, I loved the response to this, and I'm happy so many people thought this was entertaining and are enjoying the scents. That makes me happy. And then in terms of filming a video like this where we smell them, I'm like, here we go. Here I am staking my personal and professional credibility on a product that I stand behind,
Yeah.
And that's a weird feeling. But I already played, xylophone on grape dongs and, have yet to experience ill consequences as a result. So I don't know how that fits on my resume, but time will tell. For now, I guess we will just smell these other 6 perfumes and see what's in them. So the first one that we've got in our little roundup, are you going back to Bright Red?
I'm just smelling it again. I love it. It's always fun. It is always fun every year when it shows up, and I'll usually I'm like, well, I gotta try it on. 'Tis the season to be
It's true.
Bright Red Dildo.
Right.
It's a fun one. It's again, not one of my favorites, but it is always a welcome.
I'm a little surprised because
addition.
the leather kind of brings out the beeswaxiness in the honey, and it's just kind of got a warm, saddle worn kind of. I just can't even.
You keep saying it's worn out.
It's just
I'm I don't know if that's the word you want to use.
Yeah, it's just it's trusty. You know what I mean? Well worn. It's got a patina to it. So we're going to start with Bronze Dildo. We're just going in the order that they're listed in the category.
The winner of the Bronze Dildo is...
Is that third place? The third place dildo. You know what? I would be honored to receive a third place dildo.
It's bronze.
I didn't even know I was nominated. So, inspired by 2nd century BCE bronze phallus that was found in the Jiangsu province, metallic bronze musk, 6-year aged patchouli, deep russet amber speckled with a patina. Oh my god, patina of dark oak moss, green cardamom, and tonka. Clearly, melding of the minds here. I've been seeing a lot of love for Bronze Dildo online. And again, sentences which I am compelled to speak truthfully, under oath would say. So, I haven't worn this though, and I've been kind of saving my impressions on a lot of these for the inevitable FUME vid. Wow. So...
I smell patchouli.
It's mossy. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little concerned it would be so metallic because it's while, fulfilling the creative brief, I was worried that's very limiting, On the nose, this is kind of dark and, I like that it says speckled. It just has this kind of motley, dark green, black, bronze kind of scent.
It smells weirdly iridescent. I can't talk.
Yeah, it's got rough parts, it's got smooth parts, it's got shiny parts. This is a dildo that belongs in a display case and should be retired from use. It's a matter of historical preservation at this point. Yes. I think, as well as human safety. I'm not afraid to put that on the skin. There is something kind of nice and warm and greeny goldy black about it that's it's got some sophistication. It's kind of officious and impersonal, I would say. This is not a dildo that you get cozy with. It's simply doing a job. And now it's kind of got this elder statesman quality on the skin. And then the amber is rising up out of it. So, it warms to human touch, and that's a nice quality of, a metal instrument.
The cardamom adds a little bit of spice. I don't know if you already said that because you just said a lot of stuff, and I have to admit I was not listening.
That's fine. I didn't say that. You were transported to
I'm
another
I'm smelling,
time.
and I'm also paying attention to the dog.
Time traveler Galen Adair. Now in the 2nd century.
Would you like to come up here? Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Lap time. Lap time for cutie.
So this patchouli amber moss, just really, really nice. It's definitely kind of more friendly than oh, did you hear that dog outside? Disco. Quiet.
So very rude.
I think, we're gonna have to do some treat distraction here. I know what you want. Quiet. Okay. So yeah, if you like a kind of an interesting kind of dry, mossy, elegance, it's got a bit of a snap to it. I think the metallic imparts this kind of I don't know, there's something disciplinarian about it. That, I can get behind. I can come back to this in a little bit when it dries, and we'll see what we're dealing with. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, we're moving on to a classic, predating Bronze Dildo chronologically, which is Ice Age Baton. I was super excited about this. Like, let's go to the very beginning, which is basically humans fucking themselves with rocks and other carvings. It's like, you like imagine you're like, you know, a prehistoric citizen of the world, and you happen to spy a piece of antler or bone or stone, and you look at that and you're like, well, I know what that looks like. And with a little enterprising spirit and imagination and the materials at hand, in a very short amount of time, you were transported to vistas of pleasure that were previously unknown to Earth itself. Just imagine. So, the Ice Age Baton is a term that archaeologists have resorted to when classifying vaguely or even explicitly phallic artifacts dating back 30,000 years. 30,000 years. Here we are doinking around with stupid phones and, like, you know, having global war. But 30,000 years ago, people were fucking themselves with phallic rocks, and I think they knew some things that we didn't. The scent is ivory-hued vanilla bean, cacao, white amber, and marbled tobacco, unearthed from a chalky rubble. Disco, I'm speaking. We got that? White amber, marbled tobacco, chalky rubble. Go. How about have a mangled lamb chop toy? Does that do anything for you? Yes. Okay. So.
Good job.
I was shocked when I first opened this bottle at how chocolatey it was. Because the chocolate and vanilla, like, play together so well. And it's this, like, really... Yes?
Sorry. I'm just looking at the notes again.
The chocolate and vanilla work so well together and are so familiar and, like, grounded in my sense of, like, A, Lupercalia, B, you know, contemporary associations. And I'm like, wait a second. Did we miss the mark on this by making it something that people is so familiar? Because I was really kind of expecting, like, that a sensation of being transported to a time where I might be stomped by mammoths, you know? And I was a little concerned. And then, I have to say, you can get, like, the kind of tobacco rising up, and then there is this weird... The chalky rubble is such a great description because there's, like... There are stony, mineralic things.
There's a chalky quality to it.
So I was like, all right, let's have a little faith, you know, put a little on the skin. Almost immediately on the skin, I was like, oh, wow, it weirdly is a time travel scent. The chocolate kind of, like, doesn't seem as kind of, like, you know, that, like, milky Easter Bunny kind of situation. There's, like a dry, crackly, like, almost smoky thing happening because of the tobacco, which is marbled. I don't even know what that means except for...
I don't either, but I was going to say that I like that it says marbled tobacco because in my head, all of these components kind of give me, like, a marbled ice cream visual.
Or that marbled birthday cake.
Yeah.
That those family
where I'm
circus
just
kids
like, that's like what I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah, there's just like a kind of an unevenness in texture and tone, like a rough-hewn quality to it. It's kind of muddy. So now it's like this weird kind of like sweet, dry, crackly, warm. It's like the kind of pleasure that someone in the ancient world might accidentally wander into. You know, and I think about that even with like the primitive versions of things like tobacco and cacao and stuff that are so refined today, and that back then it would have been like, wow, same thing, enterprising creativity. You like realize the potential of like these raw components. I find this weirdly comforting for a scent that's like inspired by caveman nookie. You know?
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice.
I want to be... if anyone needs me, I'll be in my cave. You know?
Oh.
You just sneak away for a while. You come back out. They know what you were doing.
Put a sock near the entrance. There's no door.
Oh my God.
Like, you just gotta, you know.
I almost laughed at the idea of them having socks, and then I remembered that like shoes are also among humans' earliest inventions. I thought about that recently because of the memes and stuff going around where we're like, why am I having to deal with this technological world? We're supposed to be like barefoot in the woods, like eating fruit and getting stoned and watching the sunset. And I'm just like, trust when I say that shoes were among the very first things that...
I have to protect my feet bones.
Yeah, this is not working. If you're in the woods and you gotta do stuff, barefoot's not the way.
I don't know what you're barking at.
Someone's got an issue with an outside. Hey,
just go. You have a lamb in front of you, and it's so much more interesting.
Fine. Look, watch. I'm gonna distract him with a treat, like a good parent. Yeah, kid. I'll buy you your Happy Meal and your Mad magazine. So, anything else? It's just like, I just want to say, if you're scared of this collection, this is like I think the most approachable one. This is the one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you want to get in here and play in the like dildo perfume game with the big kids, but you're a little intimidated by some of the strangeness of these offerings, like Age Baton, instant classic. You know, go with what you know. Because, for example, there's like a steep escalation in my Greek is not very good. It's non-existent. Olisbokollike. Olisbokollike. Please help. Please, watcher, someone who went to better or more college than me. Olisbokollike. I can't say it
in the form of a question.
It will never not be a question. So this perfume is inspired by the ancient Greek tradition of fuckable breadsticks.
Yes,
dildos.
You heard that.
Dildos
correctly.
made of bread. We all have had, a piece of bread that has gotten so stale that you don't know what to do with it. Once upon a time, this was not a question. This was an answer. Think about the plausible deniability you have here.
Finally, my bread is stale.
Or like the days where you like squeeze the bread a little. Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know. I feel like you're opening yourself up to potential health problems here. Not to get graphic, but like
just don't do this at home, kids.
There are reasons why we continued to innovate. We'll just say. However, for perfume purposes, it says a shockingly stiff and lightly oiled Simicto proto baguette with a dribble of sweet cream. So this is a perfume that smells like a fuckable baguette. Lightly oiled, dribble of sweet cream, filthy. Filthy, filthy, filthy. Oh my god. Okay, so it's so appetizing that I'm almost like upset. At first I'm just like, I'm resisting it because I know that it's not for eating. But there's like, it's like salty.
Yeah, it's like warm, salty, sweet. It almost smells
yeasty.
Like a movie theater lobby.
Yes, I have to be the one to say the word yeasty. Someone has to say it. It's fallen to me. This is a yeasty smelling perfume.
Thank you. I did not want to say that word.
Pleasantly yeasty. It is warm and salty and yeasty. And there is like a hint of sweetness in there, which I appreciate. Almost like, it's blessed with a mellow, creamy sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This is somebody's jam. We had like a yeasty, like, bun in the Shunga's collection.
Oh, yeah,
not too
last
long
year.
ago. Kind of salty, sweet, yeasty, creamy perfume. Why does Lupercalia bring out the yeast in people? It's extremely relaxing. I bet the ancient Greeks felt exactly the same way. There's something very comforting about this experience. It doesn't have like an illicit quality on the skin. You're not going to be walking around smelling like a weird Greek yeasty sex reek. Just a kind of a wonderfully warm, toasty, creamy. I mean, it doesn't... you're right about the movie theater thing. Like, there are elements that kind of tether it to Mouse Circus. But it's different.
Yeah.
It's not explicitly like popcorny or cotton candy. It's just like, it's a kind of a weirdly...
It's the combination of like the saltiness and the sweetiness. And the like, the bready component. It's like a foodie thing, it's just making me think of a movie theater.
If you went to a high-end movie theater, like in a hipster neighborhood where they don't serve traditional snacks, like more along there, where it's like, oh yeah, here's your, corner of Greek baguette and, whipped cream sauce to dip it in.
And you're like, you don't have popcorn here? And they're like,
no. Oh.
No. Try AMC.
I really like this. I mean, this is like a foodie blend for sure. I mean, as it should be. There's not like a steel core, to this baguette. Like there's no file in this cake. It's purely supported by its own crustiness.
Wow.
So,
the words that you're saying.
I know. Okay, so
in this video.
That brings us to the moment I know all of us have been waiting for. To be honest, Purple Jelly Dildo is the one that really got my imagination going for the collection. We have a friend who loves to joke about purple jelly dildos. We all have that friend. And in this instance, I was like, we've got to work this in. Purple jelly dildo is on the table. If anything, I feel like this collection was elegantly constructed around the possibility.
Oh, it sure was.
Of including purple jelly dildo.
Yeah.
And this took us to places that we did not know that we would have to go, really. There was a moment where I had to write to Beth and Brian and be like, what is our actual dildo budget for promotion? I know, it's gigantic. It's too much. Not to belabor the point, right? But there's something about the purple jelly dildo that is just so of a particular era in people's, sexual education and exposure to culture, I don't know. You want me to put it away? We don't know what to do with them.
I didn't say anything. I'm just listening to you and I'm looking at you. Said nothing.
I can read it.
I said nothing.
You're like, it's like in the Elaine Stritch documentary where she looks up at the camera guy and she's like, don't you think you're awfully close? That's how you...
That's my general vibe, though.
It is. What's funny is I don't even know what to do with these. We filmed that wonderful promo video. We've got a bunch of these. I don't want to throw them away.
Now they're sitting in a bag.
They're not...
Actual bag of dicks.
They're certainly not fit for personal use, as these are bargain basement, jelly Godzildos that are not... I don't know, you don't want to throw them away. I thought about hanging them from a string, from the bridge, as a piece of public art.
We should just put them on the hoods of cars that have Thin Blue Live stickers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I said that.
That's the kind of thing I would hope that I would think of.
And I said it first.
Okay. That means that I have to kind of keep the bag of them in my backpack as I just go around the neighborhood, and if I see a sticker, it's hood ornament.
Your lucky day.
Oh
You've
my
been
gosh.
awarded a PJD.
The thick purple line. Purple jelly dildo, as described, just as an effervescent, bright purple grape. What else could it be?
Of course.
I mean, what did you want? Subtle layers? You can see right through it. It's transparent. Oh my god. Weirdly, my stomach rumbled when I smelled it, and those two events, I just need the world to know, are not connected. Completely spontaneous, separate events. There is a blast of grape soda. Okay? It's there. It's not... There is, a definite kind of a wininess to it, also.
It's I don't mean this negatively. It's like a grape soda Dimetap kind of...
How could you escape those associations, first of all?
Yeah, I'm just that. It is a purple grape.
It is an artificially purple grape. This grape has been purpled.
The raspberries have been blued.
Yes. And I get there's the effervescence is also kind of a Smarties kind of fizz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there is this kind of darker, more mature figure underneath that is just a winier grape. That is just I am the source. I am the origin. I am the grape.
I'm the monster's mother.
Once humans cultivated grapes and now centuries, millennia later, people are fucking themselves with these bizarre instruments and then making perfumes inspired by the experience. There's a real, I feel connected to all of human history in the purple jelly dildo scent.
Disco. It's the garbage truck. That's what he's boofing at.
I'm like, I thought you were talking about the scent. I'm like, what?
It's the garbage truck. That's what I'm smelling.
I'm smelling the garbage truck. Come here.
No, that's not what I'm smelling. I don't really know what to say.
I feel like I can settle into this. Like, the super, like, kind of like fizzy fake soda purple grape smell is less intense on the skin, and you get more of this kind of like weirdly rich, fruity, dark purple grape. There's like a touch of the effervescence. Like I can.
It has a sparkle, yeah.
It has just, you know, there's glitter suspended in the silicone.
Wow, beautiful lyric.
Weed crumbles in the glitter. But like, honestly, this is just kind of a very grapey, an admittedly grapey, fruity perfume oil.
Yeah.
Nothing really to fear. It has a kind of a gradient of purples, you know? It's not just like one flat experience.
Yeah.
Is it sophisticated? No.
No, but is that thing? No.
Right. No. Like, it's not for everyone. You know, the great thing about a catalog like this is like there is, you know, there's options.
Yeah.
Room to explore.
Important to have options.
You know? You get to choose your own. It's relatively simple, straightforward, grapey.
It does get
experience.
more winey as not like you know, wine glug like
yes.
Yeah, more wine-like. I don't want to say whiny because that makes me sound like I'm crying.
That comes after the video. I would say that it is comparable to the drops of Amontillado fragrance we created for our Poe birthday bash. That was a kind of like a very, it was like a kind of a very sweet wine. Mm-hmm. And I remember at the time thinking how I was surprised at how kind of grapey and fruity it was, because I was expecting, like, I'm always heading into like a wine scent looking for like a dry, bitter wine, and often it's like sweeter than I expected. I don't know why that is in terms of the notes that we use or whatever, but yeah.
I wish I could tell you. I don't know.
I want to hear from people who have had this on their skin. Tell me how you made these choices and how you felt about what happened as a result.
Don't be afraid. You bought the damn thing. Talk about it.
Yes. If we can step out here and
wear a banana and sniff some dildos, the least we can do is, you know, count on some community outreach. We need to feel like we're not alone here. Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that I say that, and then I'm like, and now on to Spurious Cooter bees. You know? Ta-da!
Forget what I said. Run. You don't have to participate in this. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to buy it. You know, I want you to protect yourself. Spurious Cooter bees, beamed directly from the imagination of our incredibly prolific, mad perfume scientist, Elizabeth Burial, is based on the apocryphal story floating around that claims that Cleopatra invented the vibrator because she would fill like a gourd or something with bees, you know? You give it a shake, they're buzzing madly, and then you just like cram it in.
That is so like her.
This never ends up in any of the biopics.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor insisted on filming it, but they wouldn't put it in the final cut.
They had to like hold her back.
Right. Physically restrained.
Yeah.
Anyway, the claim is uncorroborated. But we've made a scent for it anyway, and the scent is honey with a little ginger buzz. Now, I'm guessing that this is going to layer extremely well with Bright Red Dildo. You've lost it. I don't know how I'm holding it together. Honey with a little ginger buzz.
There's just something about the idea of, like, Elizabeth Taylor, like, being, like, ferociously hell-bent on, like, making sure this scene happens.
Why do you think Angelina had wanted to film it so badly? She's just like, the people must know.
They have a right to know.
They have a right to know.
This is the one that I've tried on so far, and I really like it.
Oh, wow. It's so funny because I kind of like just like eased in like I would have with the Bright Red Dildo because it's like such an easygoing experience. And then I got Cooter bees right up the nose. It is lively. This is a lively experience.
Like, do you think that there's maybe a champagne note in it? Because it is super fizzy.
I think...
Or is it just that ginger? I don't know. It's
so... Whatever, I don't know if it's aldehydes or whatever it is that partly constructs the champagne note to make it so fizzy, it's definitely in here. It reminds me of that prototype for the Mixed Nobody scent that we didn't end up going with, because Beth had originally made a scent for that was like a kind of a lemon ginger cocktail, which didn't really work, and we ultimately we went in a different direction for that scent. This reminds me of that in the best way. It's much more unbridled in its energy, let's just say. It comes with its own power source. Wow.
I really like this one.
Honestly, the honey, I'm excited too because the honey is not super dominant in the bottle.
No, when you put it on the skin, especially, like the honey goes into the background and you are just getting like ginger fizz party.
I feel like I'm being like physically shaken like that scene in the like Old Acquaintance movie. You know? Is it Bette Davis who does the physical shaking?
I don't know.
Tallulah
You've seen
Bankhead?
the movie a lot more.
I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
And Tallulah Bankhead is not in the movie.
Okay, great. So it's Bette Davis.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And Miriam Hopkins?
Yes.
Right. Oh, got it.
This is your movie.
I know. Okay, but my brain is right. I just said I feel shaken. I'm rattled. How fascinating. The throw on this has got to be so powerful.
So spurious. Spurious?
Spurious. They say that spuriosity killed the cat. So, as much as this is like a honey scent, it also has like a dryness. The ginger really tempers the honey. So
Yeah.
It's not like a goopy, sticky honey.
No.
Like in the honey pot collection.
No. Different kind of honey.
Weirdly just like kind of dry and sparkly and like wet. And
Dry and wet?
I mean, okay, so it's like it's got the dryness in terms of like the sweetness, but then wet in terms of like humidity.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
It makes more sense than just saying it's dry and wet.
It's kind of juicy. It's both dry and juicy at the same time.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yes. There's a certain point where you can become so overwhelmed with fragrance that you cannot function on other important life-sustaining levels. And I have reached that point.
Yeah. What a delight.
There definitely seems something alcoholic to me about it.
Yeah. That's why, there is like I swear there's the champagne note.
Then when you go back and smell the grape one, your brain just does like a belly flop. It's like, what are you doing to me? Like, these can't be the only two options.
They're not. We have a few others.
Like, I'm searching for like some other place to rest. Like, please. I just want to rest easy.
Well, we could rest with this one.
What is our final one?
Stainless steel dildo.
Oh, how comforting.
What's it smell like?
Here we get into the space age. Gleaming polished steel and a buzzy floral aldehyde. Everything is buzzing. This is like, in the olden times, your dildo would just sit still. It was an inert object that you would animate yourself, and, with your imagination. Now, in the technological age, we simply don't have time for it. Basically, as soon as there was clockwork and steam-powered stuff, things started moving and started buzzing. This is some sex history education for you. And nowadays, it's like if something doesn't move, it's like, is it even a dildo?
I don't think I put enough on.
Is it cake? So, gleaming polished steel, buzzy floral aldehyde, stainless steel. We've gone from Stone Age to what a journey.
To
so proud of you,
3,000 years
humankind.
in the future.
Ooh.
Alien resurrection.
So on the nose, in the bottle, this immediately reminds me of a little bit of America's New Gods.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of what is it? Technical Boy from American Gods, because there was like a metal note in
electronic.
That. Yeah, it's got this truly like electronic smell.
Truly artificial.
Yeah.
How fascinating. There's like a really like an antiseptic quality to it. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in terms of smelling like medicine. I just mean in terms of like sustaining no biological life.
Right.
Like an inhuman quality.
Yeah.
And I am getting like the buzzy floral aldehyde kind of in the background.
Yeah.
But
it's not like super floral, but there is like a hint of something fresh in there.
Yes, fresh and sweet.
Yeah.
Disco. My dog would like to weigh in. Hey, peanut gallery. Have a peanut. Okay, so I'm ready to try this on. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already did.
Actually. Oh, you did? Oh my gosh, you're ahead of me. Okay.
But I almost put it on again. I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You're such a good sport.
I really like this one, actually. It's kind of got like a punk quality to it.
Oh, I mean, this is like a truly kind of a more modern dominatrix smell. Our past dominatrix smells tend to be a little more old world, you know, vintagey, pin-uppy, or like dominatrix of antiquity, or just
wow, why is that not a perfume?
Some nasty old lady with an aggression problem who lives in the woods and like, you know, hits people. The full timeline, you know?
Nasty old woman who lives in the woods and hits people.
Yeah, that's like the woman at the edge of the woods from Dead Blondes and Bad Mothers. That's my paraphrase. Witches were the first dominatrixes. On the skin, you're right. There's something kind of like sleek about it. You know, sleek and clean. Yeah, it kind of is like, to me, like a vintage perfume that is like pulled kicking and screaming into like the Scream video with Michael and Janet Jackson. You know?
That's it. That's a great...
Might smash a
great
vase.
Visual, like, analogy.
Might watch a hologram. Might just sit and scream in my... I almost said crypto chamber. But there it is. I was going to... Cryo and crypto, I mean, we're really at the bleeding edge of every possible dystopian
What's the difference?
Fantasy coming true all at once. The first dildo in space, and there probably already has been one, was probably stainless steel.
As the metal note kind of like calms down, the floral aldehyde quality stands out a little more. It's just like lovely.
I was afraid
surprisingly lovely.
I was afraid it would be too steely because I get that there's a desire for that. Some people really, it's your thing. But this is a little more accessible.
A little more approachable than I had thought.
Yes, especially when you consider we started with bronze dildo, you know, which has these like signs of decay and antiquity like all over it. Stainless steel, holding strong. It's clean. It's bright.
It'll be here forever.
Yes. It's like, you know, a comparable work of art. And it also doesn't, for some reason, because I was afraid it would go like soapy or some kind of like shampoo smell, but like weirdly, I don't know, it still kind of smells like a high-end, you know, Tony perfume experience that just happens to have like a secret compartment in its, you know, travel luggage for assorted items of adult pleasure. My stomach rumbled again, almost as proof that I was not, you know, aroused to hunger by grape jelly dildo. I keep calling it grape jelly dildo.
That's just not right.
It's not.
Kind of jelly.
I'm all wrong. I'm so glad that I have Galen in my life to point out when I am all wrong, and, you know.
I was gifted with many opportunities during
the filming of this
15
video.
15 minutes of FUME.
Yes. And in life, as we go through life together.
I will keep pointing out when you're wrong.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're wrong.
It hurts, but I appreciate it. So, that's it.
The bag is empty.
The proverbial bag of dicks is empty. We did our best. I'm sorry if it went a little off the rails. You should have expected this. I'm sorry if this is upsetting. But like, you know, you want to come say goodbye to the nice people who love you? He's been reading all of your comments and supportive notes and is very happy. He's like, please get that thing away from me. No, it's not a dog toy. Okay, we have to stop now.
All right.
Before this goes any further. Thank you and in advance for your enduring tolerance. And thank you for sharing your reviews of the Lupercalia stuff on BPAL.org, as well as impressions elsewhere on Instagram and in the comments of these videos. We treasure them because we feel less alone in our madness. So, enjoy your bag of dicks.
Damn it, that's what I was going to say.
Really?
But I second that emotion. Yes.
I second that motion. It's not the size of the bees, it's the motion of the bees. Please stop us.
Okay, Jane.
Cut it.